Welcome back, friends. Today I thought we'd make a couple laps around my Smith Wesson 929. That's a double action, single action, 8-shot revolver chambered in 9mm, and that's from the Performance Center group over at Smith Wesson. You can tell it's designed primarily for competition because got the old Jerry Michalik name right there, the Revolver King, so it's got to be ready for racing, right? This thing is an all stainless steel frame. It's got a really nice matte finish. Got this trick titanium cylinder on it. 6.5-inch barrel with a compensator, which everyone knows you need for that massive recoil of 9mm. We'll talk about that in a minute. She's a big girl. About 2 3/4 pounds, 44.3 ounces if you will. And at almost 12.5 inches long, it is not your conceal and carry weapon. Now the titanium cylinder is cut for moon clips, which we got right here. So that's really going to be the only way you can load that. And you get a total of 1, 2, 3 from the generous people over at Smith Wesson. So just call up TK Custom, say, hey man, send me 2 10-packs, because that's what I'm going to need to have fun with. The trigger on this is pretty much what you expect from Smith & Wesson. Really nice, smooth, double action, no problem at all. Single action, it's just crazy. All you gotta do is think about pulling the trigger and it's there. It is gonna come in, well, this one I would say came in at around 9 pounds on my trigger pull gauge, which is pretty heavy, but no big deal. You can easily fix that. Most people, if they're going to use this for competition, are going to tune that anyway. And that's just the way Smith & Wesson is going to send it out, more than likely for liability reasons, if for no other one. You're going to get a basic black Hogue grip, which you see a lot on Smith & Wesson revolvers. Not my favorite grip, not a lot of people's favorite grip, but you're going to change it anyway, more than likely. So no big deal there. The front sight is just this black bladed sight, and I don't have the best eyes anyway. I can't see crap with this indoors, and it's not much better outdoors, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. The rear sight, not bad. Nothing fancy going on there, but it is adjustable for wind and elevation. Now, what are the pros about this gun? What do I really like about it? Well, number one, 9mm. You gotta like that. The most common center fire cartridge on the planet. It's cheap, it's plentiful, and so many people are reloading 9mm for their semi-automatics that, you know, and me included. So you're ready to go with this with your 9mm ammo. This thing is well balanced, even though it is a big old gun. You just really don't notice that, especially once you get this aftermarket Hogue grip on here, and it is extremely accurate. There's a video, Jerry Michalik shooting this thing at 1,000 yards, but I mean, that's really not a testament of accuracy, more of a wing and a prayer shot. I think he said he had to aim up like 75 feet above the target or something, but this thing is very accurate in competition. I shoot this thing actually a lot better than my semi-automatic Walther. Like I said, you're going to get a really smooth trigger on that. I haven't done anything this one. And the other thing about this rear sight here, and a lot of people have kind of breezed over that, but you can remove this here and go to the aftermarket, and there are a couple different people now that make a mounting plate for this for an optic. So if you're kind of getting up there in age, maybe like me, and you can't see that front sight quite as well as you used to, and you decide you want to put a optic on the front of it, you can do that with this gun. Not a problem. Now, what don't I like about this gun? Well, for one thing, if it's got old JM's name on it and it's coming out of the Performance Center, you're expecting this thing to be a race-ready gun. Well, it's really not even close, and these are some of the things that I would change, and I would do them in this order. And that's why I got them in this order, because I think it's important. First thing, you got to get rid of the front sight, and you got to put something on here like this Dawson Precision fiber optic front sight. They're not expensive, they're easy to install. You can go check out my other video where I've installed one on a Smith Wesson 686. Makes all the difference in the world. If you don't like red, they're going to send you some green fiber optic tubes also from the good guys over there at Dawson Precision. The grip, no, probably not going to be your favorite, and I see this grip more on this gun in competition than any other. They make this in several different flavors. This one happens to be the wood and the rubber combo. I just love it, especially this ledge down here gives me really lots of leverage for my support hand, so I can make this gun nice and steady. This is not an expensive grip either. I think it was either $74 or $79.95. Trigger pull. Now, I would suggest run this thing just the way it is out of the box. If it's 9 pounds, 8 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever, just run it for a while. But then you're probably going to want something a little smoother, a little lighter, and that's where I went with the Wilson Combat. This is the custom tuned spring kit. It's less than 20 bucks. You get 3 different trigger return springs in it and 1 main spring. And I have tried the Wolf spring in my other revolvers and it works just fine, but the Wolf spring didn't like this particular gun. So I went with the Wilson Combat and it's perfect. Even with the adjustment screw all the way in nice and tight, it's about 6.5 pounds and it's really smooth. I've got this one adjusted back to about 5.1, 5.2, and I've had no light primer strikes at that. And I'm using Federal Gold Match small pistol primers, by the way. So that's probably one thing you're going to want to do. And 5 pounds, a little over 5 pounds is perfect for me. The next thing you're going to do is get an extended magazine release. I have to, with the stock one, I really have to kind of change my grip around, and sometimes I miss it and I don't really get the cylinder released. The extended one makes quite a bit of difference. I would recommend you get one of those. They're a little pricey. They're about 75 bucks. Hogue makes one, so if you want to order it when you get a grip, it looks almost identical. This one happens to be from TK Custom. While we're talking about TK Custom, the next thing that I would suggest you do, and this is probably the most expensive thing, and I think it's really needed in competition, is chamfer this cylinder. Strangely enough, from the Performance Center, they could probably do that in less than 5 minutes, all 8 chambers, and it is really necessary for smooth reloads with moon clips. I don't know why they didn't do it, but I just can't see them, you know, not spending the 5 minutes to do that. Send it to TK Custom. 2 days out there, 3 days in the shop, 2 days back. You're gonna have it back in a week. And while you're there, tell them to send you an extended firing pin as well. I think it's only $10.95. And they also have this extended magazine release. So, what would I change on this gun if I was to, say, redesign it? Well, I kind of think that 5.5 inches would be better for me, but I mean, there's a lot of women shooting this gun, no problem at all. It took me a little while to figure out how to get it out of the holster because it is a big old long draw, but that's okay. The other thing is, I think this compensator is kind of gimmicky. It's more of a crap catcher than anything. I tested this with my reloads, some hotter reloads, some factory ammo, taking this thing right on and off, shooting it with it, without it. I noticed exactly 0 change in this compensator. Even this cover comes off real easy. Allen head's got a, thankfully it has a stainless steel lock washer in there, otherwise you'd be Loctiting this thing in. But when you clean this gun, it's going to fill up with solvent and everything, and you're going to have to take it off to clean your crown. It's just kind of a hassle. I don't think you need that thing whatsoever. Now, USPSA, major factor, you might feel some difference in recoil or something, but I didn't feel anything. This gun, there's so much meat on this gun. Shooting 9mm, I just don't think a quote compensator is going to make all that much difference. I have not seen this in any competitions, and I haven't seen it in any competitions on YouTube. So that's the thing that I would change. Like, you know, like I said, I would personally like a little shorter gun, but other than that, you know, I'm not a gun designer. I'm sure it would change the weight and balance of this. Look at the length of this underlug here. This is all stainless steel. Might be the reason they went with a tie cylinder, just to get the balance right. But other than that, you know, this thing is an absolute pleasure to shoot. I'd highly recommend, if you're thinking about a revolver for competition, you know, 8 shots, obviously better than 6. Can't shoot it in IDPA because, oh, you got to have a 4-inch gun with 6 shots. But I-core, and I've had a blast shooting I-core with this, and I just think you'll really enjoy this thing. Now, what else are you going to need to go to the races? Well, you're going to have, obviously, some sort of holster. This is a Speed Bees. Works really good so far. You're going to need something to hold your moon clips. These are kind of pricey. I think this is about 130 bucks. And this came from North Mountain, and this works great. I like this a lot. And I said before, get you a bunch of moon clips, and then get you one of these. This is a Plano $4 plastic box. This is a 1-6 box. I guess, I don't know if it's size 1, 6 containers, but this will hold 18 loaded moon clips. And, you know, 144 rounds is going to get you through just about any match you can. So I would suggest getting this. One other thing. BMT Mooner. Easy to load your moon clips with, and even easier when you need to get rid of or get your brass back. You flip this thing over, goes in this way, twist it, all your brass falls off. So BMT Mooner is an awesome thing if you're going to be shooting with moon clips. Other than that, I think I've covered everything. You guys let me know below if you own one of these, or shot one, want one, got a question about this one. I'll be more than happy to answer it for you. These are some of the things that have worked well for me. Changing out to a Dawson Precision front sight, Wilson Combat Spring Kit. Change this grip to this and get a whole bunch of these and just go have yourself a blast. So until next time, you guys be safe, keep the muzzle pointed yonder way down the range, and we'll see you down the road. Adios.